winter resort of Malbun in Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein, one of the smallest countries in the world, the sixth smallest country in the world, but is packed with beautiful mountains and some superb winter conditions right now. Anticipated, which is why this competition in Malbun, Liechtenstein is starting an hour earlier than the original plan. Clemens Baumann has set the first of two runs to be contested. It's the gusting winds that the jury are telling us could be the major problem, with heavy snowfall across all of the Alps right now. -1 degree Celsius. It is windy and cloudy conditions, but for a slalom racer, it's business as usual and a golden opportunity for many to pick up where they left off in yesterday's very exciting competition, won by Leona Popovic of Croatia. So Vala Hasler and Jordi Pujol from the FIS are the jury and delegates responsible for the running of this competition, and it's the race jury that has taken the decision to bring this start earlier for both the first and the second run. So we'll keep a very close eye on the weather conditions here. So this is the seventh round, and after six, Nicole Good still tops the standings for the women's slalom, ahead of Dorian Escan, Emilia Mondinelli, Bianca Bacchio-Westhoff and Charlie Guest making up the top three, but with a 100-point score here yesterday, Leona Popovic comes diving into the standings. Well, these were the prize-giving pictures yesterday, and a really beautiful atmosphere here. And this is the bib draw for the race after the prize giving. Very interesting starting order. We saw how the early numbers had a real advantage in yesterday's competition. Mondinelli drawing 5, but for the British fans, it is Charlie Guest that goes with number 1. There's Nicole Good, current slalom tour leader on the women's Europa Cup circuit. Marie Lemieux skied brilliantly on the first run, took advantage of an early number, but then lost it on the second. So it'll be a fascinating race, very different weather conditions, but the youngsters really enjoying being a part of this competition. There's the starting order. It's a huge start list once again. 85 from 22 national ski associations. Charlie Guest, Joraga, Chevrier, Westhoff, Mondinelli. Many of the favourites going in the top 5, but everybody will be poised and watch Leona Popovic here as the skier who won emphatically yesterday, clear of the rest of the field. And of course, Popovic coming off the Women's World Cup Tour, where every one of these races is hoping to head to in the future. And Popovic, currently ranked 14th in the world, stepping down to the Europa Cup Tour, building her confidence. Of course, this coming weekend is a speed weekend on the Women's World Cup, and that has brought one or two of the stars. So, with a weather watch, the main focus for coaches, it's the athletes that really need to be very careful indeed here. Now, joining myself, Nick Fellows, in the commentary box is a World Cup winner, Canadian #1, and of course now responsible for admissions in the Apex Academy in Team France. It's Britt Yannick. Britt, welcome to the commentary box. A few technical issues at the get-go here, but we're now fully underway. Charlie Guest, first racer out on course. Britt, surely Charlie, who was runner-up to Popovic yesterday, should take advantage of the smooth, clean piste here today.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this race today because yesterday was so exciting. It was Charlie Guest who really stepped it up to the next level on the second run, and she seems to be doing the same thing here on the first run. The course tracking a little bit differently than yesterday across that pitch. Skiing these combinations really nicely, staying ahead of the course. That's so important in slalom, to stay ahead of the rhythm and the tempo.
Charlie Guest sets the early pace at 44.25 seconds. Is that good enough to beat Leona Popovic? Stay with us live here on FIS TV and let's take a close look. Now, this is a very interesting performer, Brits. This is the young Austrian, Lisa Chorager, who set the fastest time on the second run yesterday. What a charge it was for Lisa, finishing the competition in fourth position. More than anything else, Britt, giving herself a huge confidence boost with that tough set on yesterday's second leg.
Yeah, she skied the second run so well, and nice to see these two races back to back because she can bring her confidence from yesterday into today's race and prove herself here in the first run. The course is bringing them across that pitch a little bit today, and then it drops down into that combination. Another combination here on the exit of the steep pitch, and then this bend, this right-footed bend around the finish.
Oh, and she's 0.22 quicker than Charlie Guest. The race is on already, just as we predicted, buzzing with skiing faster than Popovic after yesterday's race. Now, just to inform you, we won't have a lot of time to show replays. There won't be a lot of analysis. We're trying to rush this race as quick as we can. We're battling against the weather conditions, which are forecast to get worse. So out on course, first of the French skiers, Marion Chevrier. We talked a lot about their style and technique yesterday, which was effective on the first run, Brit, but they didn't like the offset of the second.
Yeah, let's see if they can blend those two runs together because they are a really energetic, really exciting team to watch at the moment. And Chevrier skiing this pitch well, I feel like she's allowing the rhythm of the course to come to her a little bit. You need to go after this course on this hill.
Chevrier just holds top position at 700ths of a second. It's a good point that you make, Britt, relying on her technique. I would agree with you totally, but she still manages to get that light. The course, for me, could be speeding up just a little. The wet, fresh snow from the first leg is being brushed off the racing line, which means that little firm grip underneath is now paying dividends for some of these later starters. We're looking at Bianca Bakker-Westhoff, young Norwegian, rising star. Look at this big green light at the halfway point, 0.26 right side of the clock as the 22-year-old weaves her way down the pitch.
Yeah, good clean skiing here. This is a quick combination, but the timing's good, and that's so important in slalom. Let the skis go, stay ahead, get the edge set, and then release to the new turn.
Good piece of work. 800ths, the right side of the clock. Norway go top of the table. France second, Austria third. Charlie Guest for Great Britain in fourth. Third in the race here yesterday, Emilia Mondinelli from the Italian team. First ever podium against Popovic. She was thrilled, almost speechless in yesterday's race. Most important thing that the coaches, Brit, will be looking for now is to pick it up where she left off yesterday.
Yeah, and she certainly seems to be doing just that. Look how quick her feet are, edge to edge. That's her strength. She's very dynamic with the lower legs and can be precise at the gate and keep that line nice and tight and short.
Mondinelli not only third in yesterday's race, but third in the current Europa Cup slalom standings. This is round 7 of 10. Good closeout here from the Italian, looking to make up 2/10 plus. And Mondinelli goes into fourth position, 0.37 off the pace. Now, for those of you that are new to slalom racing, 2 runs is the name of the game, with both the times added together. Lowest total will take 100 Europa Cup points for the win here today. And this is the Slalom Tour leader for 2024, Switzerland's Nicole Good. Little disappointed yesterday, Brit, only finishing down in 6th position. She knows she's got more to offer with multiple podiums on the slalom and giant slalom tour this season.
Yeah, I think a result at the top will be important for her today because she's skiing so well on the World Cup and clearly skiing well here on the Europa Cup level. She's the leader, but yesterday just a little bit off the pace. So can she bring it back here today and started off strong on this first run, nice and quick through that last combination to bring her around these final turns to the finish?
Nicole Good, yes, what a closeout, 800th. This lady's been in the top 10 on the World Cup Slalom Tour this season, so expectations from the local fans are really high for Nicole. And that was a very good closeout from the Swiss Tour leader going into first position. The new target time is now set at 43.80 seconds. Marie Lemieux, 22-year-old racer out of the Courchevel Ski Club, is next on course. Marie was 5th in the race here yesterday. She too has got 2 top 15 results against her name on the World Cup. Remember, this is the Europa Cup B Tour. It's difficult to recognise the difference between the two. Oh, Marie! Marie Lemieux gets a big green light at the halfway point, then goes down on the inside. And Lemieux is out for the day. That's a big disappointment. What a shame for Marie. Jona Popovic is the big pre-race favourite, an emphatic winner of this competition. So good to see Popovic taking that step backwards to stay race sharp on the Europa Cup Tour. Popovic, who was on the podium in the second round of the Women's World Cup Slalom circuit. Beaten by Petra Vlhova. Green light, she's the big odds-on favourite for today. 200ths of a second, right side of the clock. A very different snow condition, a very different touch required on the turning ski.
You could see it yesterday, and it's here again today, just the sense of urgency that she has in her skiing, that level from the World Cup that she brings here to the Europa Cup.
And she goes top of the table again, still unbeaten here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. Jona Popovic, the rising star from the Croatian slalom team, goes top of the table. Nicole Good lies second for Switzerland. Bianca Backe-Westhoff for Norway third. Chevrier 4, Horaga 5, Mondinelli 6, tying for 6th position with Charlie Guest.
A really quick set here on the top part of the course. It's a flatter section here, but it looks to be pretty quick speed, so you have to be very dynamic from edge to edge to bring your speed across the flats and then into this steeper finishing section.
You really do need a high tempo on the steep pitch today. It's a different run than the second leg yesterday that was really wide offset turns. More about the tempo and pace to perform to the top today. And Bergström Musner, Swedish skier, 0.37 off the pace. Into 6th position. Clarisse Brechet for the French team. Clarisse, another skier that's put in some spectacular results on the World Cup Tour. I'm getting a little worried here, Britt, because it's starting to darken out there on this Naxxas race slope here. We're very close to the Hockegg chairlift and gondolas, but even on the lower part of the piste here in Malbun, this storm is starting to suck in. This lady, 3 times a point scorer on the World Cup Tour, 0.17 off the pace, battling bravely here on the steep pitch.
Yeah, a couple of good recoveries showing her athletic skills to get right back into the course and into the rhythm. And now as she bends around this final corner, it's just looking for speed, gliding those skis across the flats.
Good closeout, 0.87 off the pace. Brechet, Clarisse Brechet, going into the top 10. But that's the slowest time so far at 44.63 seconds. Lorenzi for the Italian team next on course. 25th position. Lorenzi struggled on the second leg yesterday. But here's a racer on the comeback from injury. Back in the 2023 World Cup Slalom season, picked up a PB of 21st position. But this is one of the real advantages of the Europa Cup Tour, I would say, for a skier that's coming back from injury. High level of competition, difficult pistes and tracks. It's a stepping stone to getting back on the World Cup Tour.
Yeah, it's a very high-paced set course here this morning, and so you can see the times are stacking up. If you're a little bit off the timing and a little bit slower than the tempo of the course, it'll cost you quite a bit by the finish.
1.45 off the pace, perfect description for Lucrezia Lorenzi of Italy. Not quite as sharp as she'd like to be. This is the lady that's also making headway on the World Cup Tour, carrying bib number 12 for the Italian team. Martina Petellini. Now, Petellini, 17th, twice 12th on the Women's World Cup Tour. I had high expectations for Petellini yesterday, and she, more than me, disappointed with her 18th position in yesterday's race. This is a little more like the form we were expecting Brit 24 hours ago.
Yeah, she's in touch at the first interval, but needs to take some risks down here and not hesitate at all with her line, because it is quite a quick set. It's not very offset down that pitch, and you can really find some speed into the finish.
Yeah, it's fast and furious, particularly in the closeout. Petellini, 1.07, 10th position. Again, for a skier that's been a consistent point scorer on the World Cup Tour, she will be expecting more than that. A possible second run charge. Lila Lapagna from the American team, 27 years of age, US born, dual citizenship with Slovenia. Her father was a member of the Slovenian team back in the day. I'm just spotting that snow starting to fall with a fair bit of wind to it, Brit, as well. Conditions definitely deteriorating, and deteriorating quite quickly here. Good skiing from the American, 0.25 off the pace at halfway.
Yeah, I was just noticing that the conditions look to be changing. It does have that sense that it's getting darker. I like the way she's holding her upper body really stable down this pitch, so her feet are able to move really dynamically from one turn to the next and keep that speed. Let's see how she compares to the rest at the finish line.
Yeah, very nice in the core. Real tummy muscle strength from Lapagna. There's Popovic, our current leader. Just a couple more to go in the top 15. She was absolutely thrilled to win her first Europa Cup race here yesterday. But now Leona will be watching the weather like we are. We have been warned by the local organising committee here in Malbun, Liechtenstein, that the storm may have to halt the race today. Let's keep our fingers crossed as we focus on the Swiss skier Selina Egloff.
Oh, she's taking a lot of speed out of this top section. Really no hesitation at all. And that's what you need in this very quick set course.
24th in the race yesterday. She didn't ski like this 24 hours ago. The risk-reward is paying dividends. She's over a quarter second ahead of Leona Popovic at the first split. Few errors creeping in here. I have to say, it looks like visibility is getting a little difficult as well on the lower part of the track. But that is a good ski from Selina Egloff. 0.83 off the pace into 9th position. Leona Popovic holding her breath for a short while there when she saw that halfway split time. And the last of the top 15, as we're racing to beat the storm here in Malbun, Liechtenstein, is Laura Delamea. Lily, they call her on the Italian team. She's a 24-year-old tech racer from Tarvisio. Good results on the Women's World Cup Tour in slalom and giant slalom with a PB of 15th this season. So that fastest split time, 300th, the right side of the clock, is no surprise. But Lily Delamere goes down on the breakaway to the final steep pitch. That's a real shame. Superb speed on the upper turns.
Oh yeah, that was impressive skiing on the top. Absolutely.
Well, normally we'd bring you up to date with the top 15 ranked skiers ratings right now, but again, we're going to keep on powering through here, straight into racer 16, which is Beatrice Sola of the Italian team. Let me quickly bring you up to date with the top performances. Leona Popovic sets the target time in the first of the two runs at 43.76 seconds. 400ths off the pace. Nicole Good, current Europa Cup Slalom Tour leader. Third position, Westhoff for Norway. Chevrier 4, and making up the top 5, Lisa Horaga for the Austrian team. Now, Sola, 0.11 off the pace. They've got no problem to really get close to Popovic on that top section, Brit, but it looks like these lower turns will be the make or break today.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to ski the pitch as if you're still in the flats. Just adjust the position over your feet.
0.86 for Beatrice Sola off the pace of Leona Popovic, current leader for Croatia, looking for the double here in Malbun. Andrine Morstuhl for Norway has a World Cup PB of 10th in the night slalom of Flachau. Now, searching for her first podium on the Europa Cup Tour of the season. Very high in the line, getting that pressure edge turn clean and early. She's 7/10 off the pace at halfway.
Yeah, just not picking up that quick tempo out of the start gate on a flatter start like we have here. It's really important to create your tempo and rhythm and build that speed. And she's just, that timing from one turn to the next is just a little bit slower than the tempo of the course.
Yeah, great words, Britt. Totally and clearly on point. And that reflects in the final time. A little more dynamic in the style and the approach needed from the Norwegian, who drops down into last position, 15th in the competition so far. Fernbeck, Elsa Fernbeck for the Swedish team. Another skier coming back from injury, but was 16th in the World Championship Slalom in 2021, 28th in the Winter Olympic Games of 2022, missed the 23 season, and this is Elsa on the comeback. This is what the Europa Cup Tour can really do and help many of the rising stars on the Women's World Cup, World Championship and Olympic programs, is use this to build the confidence. And this is a really good performance from Fernbeck. I like this rhythm. I like this tempo in the closeouts. The Swedish skier, 0.22 off the pace at halfway. Still powerful to the close. 6th position from Bib 18.35 off the pace of the Croatian leader. Elsa Fernbeck, Britt, definitely coming back from injury.
Yeah, that was an excellent ski. I like that.
Let's go to Andrea Schlocker. Andrea, little disappointed with her 15th position in yesterday's race. Of course, Andrea, a World Cup winner, 5th in the Olympic Games of 2022, and a couple of top 10s on the Women's World Cup Slalom Tour this season. She's here to keep her technique and race skills sharp. She's looking like a class act here right now.
Yeah, good skiing. We saw this yesterday and just a couple of errors, and that caused her to go out of the course. But she's strong here today and likely looking for a good result just to build that confidence, to take that in to the World Cup races, because we have such a strong field here. So a good result here today, yesterday, really can give you that confidence and that belief to step onto the World Cup.
Oh, well, the timing graphic didn't stop there. Let me just check my computer. 14th position. You can see the disappointment from the Andrea Schlocker. But the my on-screen computer here in the commentary box tells me that Schlocker has taken 14th position, 1.24 behind Leona Popovic. Anna Elfman Arneson. Now, very talented young Swede, 2021 World Junior Champion in Giant Slalom, and 3 top 20 results on the Women's Slalom Tour this season. Oh, Britt, that visibility is getting tough on the top, isn't it?
It is. It's all about trust and using that feel underfoot, and to take that commitment and believe that the surface is there to support you, because visibility is definitely becoming challenging. At least we're doing slalom here, the tightest turns of on the circuit, and so rough weather maybe isn't too bad, but definitely a change from yesterday.
0.38 is a brilliant performance from the Swedish skier, Hanna Aronson-Elfman. And Elfman into the top flight, 8th position. Course is holding up. There's still a chance for some of these second group racers to challenge our leaders, Leona Popovic, Nicole Good, and Bianca Backe-Westhoff. This is Rosa Pujalainen, talented skier, but another skier that's on the comeback from an ACL injury, missing the 2023 Tour. I like this, fast feet and good tempo on the upper section. This Finn is flying on the upper part of the challenge, and a very nice green light to go with it.
Yeah, this is where she needs to keep it going, keep that. Oh!
She pushes just a little too hard on the steep. And when she sees her halfway time, well, Rosa will be even more disappointed. It's a DNF. She'll not be back for the second leg. Race over for Pujalainen after picking up a really exciting green light at halfway. Marielle Kufas for Norway. First of the Norwegians is Bianca Backe-Westhoff, still lying in 3rd position. But Britt, that performance from Pujalainen is showing us that the course has still got some speed in it.
Yeah, absolutely, because she was very quick on the top, but it's that blend of the flats to the steeps, connecting the two sections of this course. to have that fast time by the finish. There you can see the snow just flying up as she crosses over into the pitch. So just we get a sense that the snow is changing, and so it's making that changing your tactics for the conditions out here on the course.
I love the transition from flat to steep, but not quite enough tempo on those top turns. You really do need to push and be aggressive on that flat, inviting opening section. Let's move to Switzerland. Hupli, Aileen Hupli.
You can hear the wind almost. It's so that opening section, you're in the start gate, you can sense the weather. It's about putting that aside and just focusing on the course, focusing on what you need to do on your race run. And on this opening section, it's really about being quick, being ahead of the tempo, and then changing your tactics, getting the grip on the ski early in the turn so that you can release and stay ahead of the rhythm down this steeper pitch.
0.43 is respectable, has Hupli shooting for a top 10 result here. Good commitment on the steep section. For many, that's the most challenging part of the course. 1.54, 18th position. Top 30 is the target, remember, as they will go in reverse order on the second run. Charlotte Ling, the local skier here for Liechtenstein. Now Charlotte, very happy with her top 10 performance, 7th here in the first of the two slaloms yesterday. Looking very confident on these opening turns in day two.
Yeah, finding the rhythm really nicely up here, keeping those shoulders really stable so the legs can do the work below, those ankles and knees moving quick from left to right. It'd be great to see her get another good result here today after that excellent second run yesterday to move her up the rankings.
And this is what the racers are learning on the Europa Cup Tour. Another day, another race, a different rhythm and a different snow condition. And I love the way that Ling has adapted her skills and technique into 15th position, 1.2. The weather continues to deteriorate. The wind is picking up. The snow is starting to fall. But that was a good, brave performance from Charlotte Ling. There's our current leader for the Croatian team, Leona Popovic. Caitlin McFarlane carries bib 25 for the French team. PB of 26th position on the Women's Slalom World Cup Tour. Heavy snow forecast on the upper part of the mountain. Maybe a little rain in the village before the temperatures drop a little more. 4/10 off the pace. Nice work from the French racer on the top part of the challenge.
And just getting thrown a little bit there as she transitioned. You can see probably a little bit of a rut building, and the tempo changes down here. She's nice and tight to the gate, keeping that good and precise line. But is it the speed that she's carrying off the pitch?
Watch that clock carefully. Caitlin McFarlane, 18th position. We are so closely bunched up. 1.5 seconds separating first to 20th position. Now let's go to Elena Stoffel. Experienced racer now, Elena, at 27 years of age. Some good form she brings to this Europa Cup race from her World Cup competitions this season. 16th in round 4 of the Women's World Cup in Courchevel. 11th in the race here yesterday.
And she's building good speed on this upper section. Just keeping those feet, getting that grip, and then gliding to the next turn. It's all about that balance in the middle of the ski, and then as you go into the steeps, adjusting that balance, moving up over the feet a little bit more so you can stay in the middle of the ski and keep that turn strong and then release that. That was a very nice section right out of that combination.
Totally agree, Britt. This will go close. Stoffel for Switzerland.
Oh.
200s off the pace into second position. Wonderful technique, balance and skills from top to bottom. Elena really drawing on her experience to set up a classic duel between Switzerland and Croatia on the second run. Popovic leads, but the Swiss team are now second and third, and they're far from done yet. This is Janine Meichler, a silver medalist at the World Juniors back in 2023. And again, a young lady tipped by the Swiss coaches for big things in the future. 0.22 off the pace. The Swiss really have got the measure of these difficult conditions.
Yeah, and for Stoffel, it was really from here down where she skied the course as if she was still on the flats and she stayed ahead of it. She kept that speed going. She didn't let the turns bother at all, and that's where she kept the speed in the second half of the course.
Another good ski, 23rd position for Michaela. Janine, who was 20th in the race yesterday. So right about where she finished on the first run 24 hours ago. This is Anouk Brindley. Now Brindley, again, another skier. She struggled just a little with the conditions, but it's different snow today. And she's got a very similar style and technique, working the middle of the ski very nicely on this inviting upper section. And look at that green light, Brit. 0.19, the right side of the clock. She's just got to keep the rhythm and tempo through the steep pitch. And here's another Swiss skier challenging Popovic.
Oh, she's really tight to the gates. I thought that may have looked like a straddle, but no. She continues on because she's clean around both skis around the gate, but that was an excellent lower section. This is going to be close.
1.16, 16th position for Anouk Brindley. And Brindley, well, wonderful. Showing again the latest start numbers that there's still pace to be had out of the upper part of this racetrack. Wearing 29 for the Belgium National Ski Association is Kim van Roozel. 24 years of age now, Kim. She's had a couple of major injuries in her career and made that comeback, but I was so impressed with her performance. She started with bib number 66 yesterday, Britt, and took a 12th position. Exceptional skiing from way at the back of the pack, and she's enjoying her top 30 start today.
Yeah, absolutely. That result yesterday, she's given herself a really good chance here today with that better start number. Just getting thrown around a little bit by the rut, by the groove that's being set on the track.
Kim van Roozel, 1.95 seconds off our Croatian leader into 25th position. There is Leona, waiting, trying to stay warm, calm, patiently. Emily Henning for Sweden brings us to the end of the top 30 races in this first of two runs.
You get a good look here, just how important it is to find that rhythm in the course right out of the start gate. Slalom is so much about, well, you have to have that grip in the turn, but it's that release, that quick little dance from left to right. And it's that blend. Take what you saw in inspection and rehearse it, and then put that into action.
Now, Britt, we talked a lot about the ruts here. There's a few cross ruts on this course set. Never mind a little bit of a bumpy ride starting to form between the gates here. Once again, like yesterday, it's going to be tough for the later numbers who have to ski that rut to hold their balance and rhythm, but it can force them to take a slightly rounder racing line and therefore slower in the turn. After 30 races, Leona Popovic is at the top of the table. Then we see the best of the Swiss, Stoffel and Good. Vestov third, fourth for Norway, my apologies. Chevrier 5. Huraga is in 6th position. Charlie Guest will need a second run charge, but look how close the top 10 are to the leader. Charlie Guest just 0.49 of a second off the pace of Leona Popovic, who is our current leader. Setting up a real battle on the second run. It will be fascinating, and we've also seen from one or two skiers that if you can find the rhythm and the grip in the rut, there is still a possibility to break into the top flight. But like yesterday, incredibly close with the times, and that tells us, weather permitting, anybody could win this competition on the second leg. Top three in slow-mo replay. Well, Nicole Good leading the slalom tour standings at the moment. Elena Stoffel, for me, was brilliant with her technique. And Popovic, odds-on favourite to do the double here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. Didn't get as clean a turn as perhaps she was hoping for, but the commitment, the confidence, all there, clearly demonstrated from one of Croatia's most exciting young slalom racers, and Leona Popovic of Croatia, on track for the double, leading after the first run. Well, so far so good with the weather conditions. It still looks safe. And as our expert analyst in the commentary box, Olympian and former World Cup winner Britt Yannick was explaining, the slalom discipline of all on the World Cup Tour can deal with the worst of the weather conditions. Of course, the race referee will only cancel the competition. And our race referee from the FIS is Rujol Jordi, if the athlete's safety becomes a concern. So we're rushing through this first leg. New Zealand will be next in the gate with Michaela Smythe. It's raining on the lower part of the track. Snow is forecast on the upper. There's heavy snowstorms across most of the western side of the Alps right now, all the way through France and coming this way through Switzerland into Liechtenstein. And of course, Liechtenstein is this beautiful little landlocked principality between Austria and Switzerland. You can see the wind gusting through the trees. Is there a jury decision being made here right now? Hans-Peter Waller, good shot there, but we continue. The race is deemed still to be safe. A very difficult test from a visibility perspective. But Britt, let's have a look at Michaela Smythe, looking to follow in the footsteps of Alice Robinson, current #1 for the New Zealand team, and being coached by Niels Koberger, a former All Blacks rugby coach, working wonders with the New Zealand team right now.
Yeah, I really like her technique, the way she stands on her skis. Just a couple of little errors, getting thrown out of position. But again, those recoveries coming into place, showing her athletic skills. But the base is there, the technique is there, and the speed, I'm sure will come.
Now, for those of you that are joining us for the first time with our Europa Cup competition, we'll have two races on the course at once. To the right, in the little box there of your screens, is Zita Tot, Hungarian. And this is us now trying to get through this huge but impressive field, I have to say. 85 racers entering this 7th Europa Cup slalom on the women's tour, representing 22 national ski associations. Now, Zita Tot's target really is to try and make the top 30, because if she makes the top 30, she will get that good number for the second leg. Jessica Hiltzinger is out on course on the right of your screens for Germany. Let's take a look at the Hungarians' time. Zita Tot goes 28th. Now, if Zita holds that position, she'll be the second starter on the third starter, I should say, on the second run. So still a lot to ski for here, as Jessica Hiltzinger, another successful racer from the Women's World Cup Slalom Tour, with two results in the points this season, weaves her way through the steep pitch.
Yeah, really nice and precise on these gates. That's her style and her technique. She can be so close to the gate with that nice edge set and then release. This is clean skiing down here on the bottom.
Good work from Hiltzinger into 20th position. We now switch to the Italian skier on the upper part of the challenge, Marta Rossetti. Oh, that snowstorm is starting to gather a little pace here. Rain in the bottom, snow at the top. Now the 24-year-old Italian, who's got great form in the Europa Cup in seasons gone by, but not as good as her 5th position in Killington, Vermont on the Women's World Cup Tour this season. For me, Britt, a little disappointing yesterday, Rossetti, struggling with the ruts and bumps.
Yeah, this looks a few gears better than yesterday's skiing. This is very clean coming down this bottom section. Ooh, and she's quick.
0.81 off the pace, 12th position. That's what we were expecting 24 hours ago. Watch Rossetti's second run charge. Now, the teenager from Sweden is next on track. This is Cornelia Öland, just 18 years of age, and a very impressive green light. This young teenager full of guts and determination here, working well down the pitch.
Yeah, she needs to keep this intensity up here. A couple little errors coming in, but she's got all that speed from above. Can she transition it into this lower part and carry it around these last few gates to the finish?
Look for the green light. Öland, 16th position. Great skiing from the young teenager. Bronze medalist at the recent World Juniors in the Porte du Soleil. Let's stay with Sweden. Estelle Alphon, the daughter of the great French overall and downhill champion Luc Alphon. Estelle also finding good pace and tempo, just 0.47 off the pace.
And again, we're seeing a couple little mistakes come in here. This steep part and this quick tempoed course, the mistakes will stack up. The time will get slower with those little mistakes. They'll accumulate the whole way down.
Estelle Alphon, 1.52 seconds off the pace of the Croatian leader, 25th position. Quickly into the next of the Swiss challengers. Swiss team are on fire here today with Stoffel and Nicole Good second and third. This is Elaine Christen.
Well, I was just noticing Estelle Alphon came in at 25th. There's only 1.5 seconds separating the first 25 racers.
And there's 0.05 of a second separating the top three, Brit. I hope we don't get beaten by the weather today, because this second run will be so exciting. Kristin for Switzerland, 1.74 off the pace of our leader, skis into 27th position. Annie Thorsen for Norway is next on course. Westhoff, Bianca Bakke-Westhoff is the quickest of the Norwegians, currently lying in 4th position.
Oh, in a little bit of trouble as she comes out of the flats, drops over into that steep section. She recovers, stays in the course, but it's a bit too much of a costly error on such a quick tempoed set that we have here this morning.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday, didn't we, Brit? It's got to be clean, almost perfect and error-free from top to bottom. Such a high-quality competition today here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. Lorena Zelga for the Swiss team. Zelga knows that her teammate Stoffel Good have really performed well, and when you're training alongside the ladies that have really challenged, it often gives the skier a little confidence boost. And you can see here that Zelga just backing off a little bit on the closeout and the steep pitch. 34th position for Zelga, just misses that top 30 turnaround and cut off. She will be back for the second run, but not part of the top 30 shootout. Oh, and it's a DNF for Luisa Mangold of Germany. That's a shame. '41 is at Maria Niedendorfer. Now, gives us a chance to take a look at the weather. It's getting darker. Wind and blizzard is actually forecast here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. I'm sure many of you will have noticed that after those unseasonable warm weather conditions in early January, winter is back. Oh, and Maria goes down and out, shoulders into the gate, onto that inside ski. Feet come from underneath very quickly. And out she goes. Let's take a look at the Swedish skier, Liv Ceder. Now, Liv's a winner on the Europa Cup Tour, but in giant slalom, yet to crack it on the slalom tour, but very much following in the footsteps of Sweden's Olympic giant slalom champion, Sara Hector. But it's good to see that she's cutting a good accurate line here with the short slalom skis on. Oh, gets compressed on the breakover. Mistimes that one terribly.
Yeah, I was going to say, she has a really good position on her skis, but she's just not making that adjustment where the terrain changes. That's all it is, because if she can keep that technique and keep that position on her skis as the terrain changes, then the speed will be there.
36th position, 3.06 seconds off the pace of our current leader, Leona Popovic of Croatia. This is Laurine Lujan-Moulin. That's a good pace and tempo on those top shots. Oh, but there she gets caught coming out of the rut on the gate before, then goes on the inside just before the breakaway. And there's another DNF for number 43 of the French team, Laurine Lujan-Moulin. Leonie Reich next on course for the Austrian team, carrying bib 44. Those ruts and bumps are starting to deepen, Brit, and visibility is now very difficult indeed. But I like the way this young Austrian girl is working with the rut rather than fighting against it.
Yeah, that's definitely the key tactic here when the course starts to rut up. But yesterday we had the good visibility, the sunshine, so you could see the rut. It was easy to pick it and set the ski in it. Today with this flatter light, In kind of darker conditions, it'll be harder. It's more about feel. You have to feel your ski into that rut rather than see it.
Of course, for us, the viewers and the commentators, it adds to the challenge. This is the second highest level of international ski competition, and we like to see the rising stars of the future tested to the maximum. Let's have a look at Natalie Falk, another exciting young junior Austrian racer looking to make her breakthrough on the Europa Cup Tour today.
Here we get a good look at that transition into the steep part. There's that quick combination. She does that very nicely. When you pick up your tempo in the combination, it's all about how quickly can you switch into the new rhythm of gates coming out of the combinations.
36th position, 2.93 seconds off the pace. Let's have a look at Andorra. Kola Milares Roof. Now, Andorra enjoying real form on the World Cup Tour, but Kola's gone. It's a DNF. That's a disappointment. Julia Fletcher. Again for the Austrian team. Oh, this is getting a real tough ride now.
Yeah, you can see it. She's trying so hard to stay tight to the gate and stay in that rhythm really close and move those feet quick, but she's just not having that opportunity. The rut pushing her a little bit wide, and they're struggling as she transitions into the steep section of this course.
Well, with the course rutting and becoming much more difficult now, I think Leona Popovic's time is safe. I don't see any skiers on the start list to the end of this first run being able to bet a 43.76. The target now for these later numbers is to make the top 30, because we reverse the top 30 going into the second leg. And that means a very smooth, clean track if you can make the breakthrough. That is the goal as we take a look at Axel Moulin, second of the Belgium racers. Kim van Roozel is in the hunt once again here. 1.12 off the pace.
She skis with a very nice technique. Oh, that's an unfortunate error. She just has to ski out, but very clean on the top section.
Kim van Roozel, the Belgian racer, holds 30th position to be precise. And one skier beats Van Roozel's time of 45.71. And no skiers for Belgium in the top 30 of the second leg. Remember, points from first position to 30th. This is Furtscheller, again for the Austrian team.
Yeah, as the course kind of ruts up and gets a bit more cut up, it's all about having that drive, that commitment to stay with the ski. And even though your ski below you is bouncing around and going wide, you have to keep the shoulders going down the middle of the track.
39th just misses a golden start number on the second leg. Let's go to Italy. Ambra Pomer. These ladies facing a real challenge, not only from a snow perspective, but also from a weather point of view. And this lady really hammering those top turns. 0.71 off the pace. Good work from the Italian.
I like the way she's staying relaxed with the legs below. She's just letting them kind of bounce around the turn. And as I was saying, keeping those shoulders, the arms nice and stable and strong.
Good skiing. Oh, she's unlucky not to make the top 30. Ambra Pomer. For those of you that were with us yesterday, Kim van Roozel went from 66 to qualify into the top 30. So it can be done. But I'm sure you will agree these weather conditions are far more difficult than 24 hours ago. Garance Meyer for the French team misses the breakaway completely, mistimes the turn, and joins the ever-increasing list of DNF racers in this first of two runs. Pauline Fischer next in the gate for Germany, carrying bib 52. Like I say, our apologies for not being able to give you more analysis, slow-mo replays, and more time with the leaderboard. We're trying to beat the weather. We'll be back an hour earlier than was originally scheduled for that second leg at midday, 12 local time here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. But I'm delighted that the local organising committee have adjusted their schedule, stayed flexible, and are making this race happen. Sadly for Fischer, she's been beaten by the poor visibility and the tough snow conditions. Annette Belfront for the Italian team wears bib 53. Just holding on to that turning ski for a split second too long. She needs to be careful here. Needs to be a little more quick and dynamic. Otherwise, she'll run lower and later in the line until there's no space to make the turn.
Yeah, finds her rhythm now, but she's lost quite a bit of time on that opening section. 1.41 off the pace, and to get into that top 30 is so tight. It's under 2 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, put it into perspective, Andrea Schlocker, the Slovenian World Cup winner in this competition, is down in 20th position. Not an easy race day at all. Now for Belfront, 36th, 2.81 off the pace. Moa Landström next on course.
Yeah, the course workers doing their best to keep the track smooth, but with the racers coming so quick one after the other, it's just a quick cleanup on a gate and then move out of the way, and you can see that groove starting to develop. You see the skis getting bounced around. It's so important to stay strong in the core, to keep driving down the hill as your skis get thrown in all sorts of directions.
40th position for Landström. Let's get back on the race piece with Francesca Caroli. Caroli with bib 55 is a DNF. Gives us time to watch racer 56, Austrian skier Maja Varoshits. Now, Varoshits had a good day yesterday, picking up a 19th position, starting with bib 55. She'll want to back that up again today. Look how the confidence is there. She needs to be careful just leaving that hand. She just lets it drift behind the upper body ever so slightly. That can pull the hip out, not into the turn. But this is the form that she demonstrated yesterday, 0.81. Britt, I like the way this young lady skis. So gutsy with her approach on the mountain. Fearless.
Yeah, this is excellent skiing. She's made that transition to the steep and didn't adjust her tactics at all. She kept charging. She's really driving here down the lower part of the course.
She reminds me of Gal Hooper, the Olympic bronze medalist. 1.91, 29th position. Let's hope she can hold a top 30 start number for the second leg. She could be the second skier out of the gate. Here's another skier showing the strength and depth of the Italian B teams. Tatum Byler.
Yeah, getting pushed a little bit wide as she came off the flats into the steep, but has recovered nicely. Really getting the ski in that groove really well. This is going to be important from here to the end with these starters to find the rut and use it to your advantage.
Oh, she's missed that top 30. 2.59, 37th position. Valentina Ringsvana. .17 off the halfway split. All about qualification. Maybe not qualification because we'll give all 60 skiers a second run, but it's at that top 30 which gives you a real chance of making some big points. Noah Block is out on course for Holland on the right of your screen. Oh, that was close. Ringsvana, 36th position. Let's take a close look at the technique of the Dutch lady. Oh, and she's a DNF. It was the same story yesterday. It is a big step up, I have to say, from the FIS Racing Tour to the Europa Cup. The quality of competition on the B Tour is really very high for both women and men these days. Many of the skiers in action today have already recorded point scores, top 30 results on the World Cup circuit. We're taking a look at Annabelle Jallet. Brits, the standard of competition is exceptional on the Europa Cup. Was it that way when you were winning World Cup races on the women's tour?
Oh, yeah, it definitely was. I can remember always knowing that if I could go to Europa Cup and have a top finish, a top result, I knew I could take that form, that my form was now good enough to be right in the mix on the World Cup. And yeah, we're really seeing that strength here today. It's fantastic to see. And there's such strong skiing and the times are so close. So if you have a good result here on these runs, that confidence, that belief, you take right up to the next level.
And there's many a successful World Cup racer struggling to find the podium positions here. Less than half a second separating the top 10, less than 500ths of a second separating the top 3. And you start to get a clear picture of how competitive the women's and men's Europa Cup tour can be. For Leona Popovic, it's giving her nothing but a boost to the confidence heading to the next World Cup races on the 9th and 10th of March in Åre, Sweden. That's a DNF for the German skier 62, Maria Bogner. Silja Koskinen of Finland is next on course, wearing 63. Pohjalainen came so close to a big result on this first of the 2 runs, only to take a tumble on that steep closeout. Let's see if Koskinen can make the top 30 here.
And there already, you can just see the rut pushing her around ever so slightly, but good recoveries, gets back into the rhythm. But it's such a challenge at the moment. Once these course conditions deteriorate a little bit and your bib number's higher, this is where you learn how to really commit to that ski, commit to your race run and charge from the first gate to the last.
Oh, good recoveries from the Finn. 3.2 off the pace, 47th position. Elina Lipp for Germany is next on course. I like the commitment here, and the reward is there. 0.84 off the pace for Elina Lipp.
Yeah, she really is charging. That was a quick section through the combination, and oh, she's gone really wide. And oh, that's too bad.
Lisa Backlund, DNF for the German skier. Lisa Backlund for Sweden is now out on track.
Finding that groove with the outside ski, but the tempo, the rhythm is just a little bit slower than the pace of the set. And on this easier flat section at the top, creating speed and getting ahead of the course and building your own rhythm is so important.
Yeah, errors creeping in through the turns on the steepest section of this racetrack. It's the Nachtsas slope. Takes you right into the heart of the Malbun village here. It's a beautiful winter resort. If you're ever in this part of the world, come and have a ski on this Europa Cup slope. Make it a little bit longer, and you could easily host a Women's World Cup here as well. This is Astrid Hedin, Swedish skier, 1.12 seconds off the pace. So close. Normally 1.12 off the pace could get you into the top 15. Doesn't even get you into the top 20 today.
Yeah, it's incredible how tight the times are. And I think that just shows it's a very quick paced course, so the times will stack up. It's a little bit tighter rhythm than yesterday, but it also shows the strength of this field and just how close they all are.
Ina Holland for Norway is out on track. Bianca Bakke-Vesthoff is the best for the Norwegian skiers so far. She's lying in 4th position to our leader, Leona Popovic, but she's only 0.12 off the pace. I think any one of the top 10 believe they can win this race with a second run charge. And please make a note of the new start time for the second leg, live here on FIS TV. That is midday, Central European time. Holland, 3.25 seconds behind Popovic, 49th position. Germany's Charlotte Grandinger. Oh, good form on those opening turns, Britt, but that terrain breakaway and from flat to steep goes horribly wrong for the young German.
Yeah, and with the way the groove is on the course now, it just means that these later starters have to take a wider line. They have to find that rut. And our earlier starters, the top 20, top 30, they could make a much shorter line, a tighter line, and therefore carry more speed.
Slovenia's Anika Tomšič. Ooh. It's getting very bumpy. A lot of the racers have just been a little hesitant on that breakaway. There's 2, 3 different rut lines you can follow. '53rd position after the first leg for Tomšič. We're back to the French team. And this is Alice Dahon.
Oh, she's moving quick. She's doing her best to stay in the track, and oh, unfortunately comes off the flats and doesn't make the next gate as that transition dropped into the pitch and just didn't adjust.
Looking more like a freestyle bump skier there at one point. Great technique from the French skier. Nadine Hundegger for Austria. Once again, Lisa Horager is the fastest of the Austrian skiers. She's poised to strike on the second run. 6th quickest from the first, but just 0.27 behind the Croatian leader.
And the rut now just pushing her a little bit late and low in the line, and so then it's hard to pick up the new turn earlier when you want to pick it up. You have to just drop into the rut in there.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too late, too much trouble with the terrain change.
This is turning into one of those races where you're happy to be in the com box, not out on the piste with these high numbers. Amelie Kloppenstein for the Swiss. Of course, Malbun Liechtenstein has hosted many a FIS race, as well as joining the Europa Cup Tour for the 24 season. And as Charlie guessed, the British #1, who's lying 10th here today, said in her interview yesterday, she knows the slope, she knows the surrounding area, and that can often be a benefit. The coaches will know that psychologically, having skied and raced here before, knowing the mountain, the travel from the hotel to the inspection, can often help the skier's preparation. 55th position for Kloppenstein. You can see that the rut deepens and the skier has to take a rounder turn. Therefore, a much slower pathway through the pattern of gates. We're taking a look at Gwyneth Tenrar of Luxembourg, who joins the ever-increasing list of DNF. Very tough, the conditions now. An almost impossible Brit to get close to the top place skiers.
Yeah, I think you're right. That top 30, because the times are so tight to get to that top 30. So now it's about charging down this course and just trying to get as close as you can to that 30 and move your bib number forwards.
Madeleine Beck for Liechtenstein, using a good tactic and ski skill here. Staying high. Now this can be the skill that often pays dividends, particularly on the flat. She's trying to come into the gate from behind and grip the turning ski on the wall of the rut, and then let the feet shoot underneath in an accelerated mode. This is good skiing, I have to say, making it look a lot easier than it really is. If Madeleine Beck can just hold this form to the line, she's had an exceptional first run. 43rd position from bib 74, not bad at all. Christina Jakobsen is out on track for the Norwegian team, carrying bib 75. Just 10 races to go now before the first run is in the book. And we keep our fingers crossed that the weather holds for just a couple more hours so we can get this second leg away live on FIS TV at midday. Jakobsen, 55th position. Isabella Schmelmer.
I would say it's almost brightening up a little bit for these final racers, which is good. And if they can commit to this run, get through this rough and bumpy course, improve their bib number, and get to that second run. It's a complete, complete the race. That's practice. They're out here at this Europa Cup level. It's all about patterning, learning that competitive skill, your race skills.
Yeah, great words, Britt. I've been commentating on the Winter Olympic Games when the weather conditions have been far worse than this. And that, of course, is the biggest shootout that comes every 4 years of them all. So you have to learn as a winter sport athlete to perform to your best in all conditions, snow and weather. And it's all part of the learning curve. That will be clearly stated by the coaches. Rodriguez Elosegui, Spanish racer. Looking to follow in the footsteps of Blanca Fernandez Ochoa, an Olympic medalist, a World Championship medalist, Spain's top female skier on the World Cup Tour. 4.09 seconds off the pace, 58th position. Austrian youngster Victoria Oliver is out on track. Olivier, I should say.
Oh, she's moving quick across the flat section. They're just getting into trouble. The rut pushed her a little bit wide, and she was already late in the line.
Krajewska for Poland. 5 races to go. Looking to emulate Gaśnica Daniel, the top Polish skier on the Women's World Cup Tour. Who's been in the top flight for the past few seasons now. Nice footwork, very fast. Not quite got the timing right in the rut, but the recovery skills and superb balance being demonstrated by the Polish racer.
Yeah, good skiing. This is a good aggressive ski because she's getting bounced around, but you can see that she's really fighting to get back into the next turn and last couple gates to the line.
57th position, 3.99 seconds off the pace. Nora Hall for Norway.
There's that transition into the steeps. Just goes a little bit wide on that gate, but these conditions are definitely proving to be difficult now, and the mistakes, well, they're hard to keep to a minimum, but it's the recoveries. It's all about how quick you can recover back onto the front of the ski.
Up in the right of your screens is the teammate to Nora Hall. Hall finishes in 62nd position. Bjornskard is next on track. She's a 35-point FIS racer, moving up to the Europa Cup Tour for the first time this season. Oh, this is Yellem at DNF. No, let's just wait. I'm pretty sure that that's another small error from our graphics. My apologies. Yeah, 82 is Bjornskard. And this is Thea Yellem for Norway, wearing bib 83. 1.49.
There's that target, yeah. That target to get into the top 60, isn't it? Get to that second run.
No choice but working with the rut. You cannot fight against it. This is Thea Emily Beth Yellum. Thea, 61st position, just misses the cut for the second run. Lien Bonder of Latvia. First two slaloms in Zell am See, part of the Europa Cup Tour for 2024, the beautiful Austrian resort, were won by the Latvian Zenifera Germain. And Germain is one of the stars to watch for on the Women's World Cup Tour, really showing that Latvia have got some strength and depth in their national ski association as well. Top 60, 60th position for Bonder. She'll hope that that's enough to come back for the second leg. Christina Bühler for Liechtenstein is the last racer of this first run. Congratulations again to the local organising committee for beating the weather forecast here this morning, starting an hour earlier. A very good decision indeed. A very exciting first run of two. And we hope that the storm stays away until we've got that second leg away. And another reminder, make a note please, that we'll be back at midday, not 1 p.m. as was originally advertised, for the second leg of this Women's Europa Cup slalom here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. So close at the top of the table, less than 0.05 of a second separating the top three, less than half a second separating the top 10, which means for me, in my book, any one of the top 15 racers coming back for the second leg has a shot at stopping Croatia's Leona Popovic doing the double here in Malbun, Liechtenstein. Some great skiing from some big names of the World Cup Tour and from some rising stars of the Women's Europa Cup. Janine Meichler for Switzerland will be the first skier out on course for the second leg at midday as we reverse the top 30. But all eyes will be firmly fixed on Leona Popovic. Can the Croatian, who won her first ever Europa Cup slalom here yesterday, do the double today in Liechtenstein? The cutoff for the second leg after the top 30 going in reverse order will be 60th position, and that was the target for many of the later numbers. Good to see Michaela Smythe for New Zealand making that second run cutoff, and all the way down to Liena Bonder of Latvia, 60th position, 4.03 off the pace. She's qualified to get a second run here today. Difficult conditions, a difficult race, but a very exciting first run. It's the second leg that we're all looking forward to, starting at midday. Top three in reverse order. The Swiss team are poised to strike here, should Popovic make a mistake or two. Nicole Good, 400ths off the pace in third position. Elena Stoffel from bib number 26, skiing into runner-up spot. She's just 200ths. But Leona Popovic has come here to these Europa Cup B-Tour races to sharpen her skills for the next stop on the Women's World Cup Tour. Yesterday was a brilliant first and second leg, and we expect nothing less from Leona. Maybe a difficult snow condition than we're used to on the World Cup, but Popovic will start the second leg as the favourite, same as she did this morning. That brings us to the end of our coverage. Many thanks to our expert analyst, Britt Yannick, for her expert eye on proceedings. And on behalf of all of the team at FIS TV, until midday today, it's time for me, Nick Fellows, to say many thanks for your company. It's goodbye for now.